warnings regarding Nemesis to follow.
By order of the Phalanx, as you may or may not be aware, Nemesis is closing due to her abnormal behavior. Today, as our investigation begins, we can assure you we have our most experienced team involved. Nemesis is a complex beast, and it's in our interest to protect her well-being. I'm sure you'll join me in remembering what's been an iconic presence in many of our lives. For now, though, we must say, good night, Nemesis. We'll be taking no further questions.
First opened in 1994, Nemesis was billed as Europe's first ever inverted roller coaster. Here's the stats, the facts, the figures you need to know about. £10 million ride. Previously travelled at speeds of up to 50 miles per hour, included a number of twists, number of turns, with 4 inversions. The refurb will take until next year. It's 30th anniversary since it opened, but a video has been released, a little bit you heard just now, giving a taster of what roller coaster fans can expect from the new ride, with bosses saying it will be back with a vengeance. There's also a viewing platform in the park where people could watch the new 250-ton, 716-metre long track being replaced. Aaron Challoner's got a YouTube channel called Chall Chats where he talks about roller coasters, big roller coaster fan. So we've got him on this morning. Aaron, good morning.
Good morning, Lucas. How are we doing?
Very well, very well. Looking forward to chatting about roller coasters because it's Monday morning. We need to chat about a bit of thrill. So how many times have you been on Nemesis? Tell us.
Oh, I can't count on both hands how many times I've been on Nemesis. I've been on doing Nemesis for over 15 years now. So I've been doing at least one ride every year, apart from the COVID year, for the last 15 years. And wow. It's just such an iconic ride, such an iconic presence at Alton Towers, and it's got this kind of intimidating factor about it, especially someone who, rides it for the first time.
So when was the first time? How old were you when you went on?
The first time I rode on Nemesis was around 2007, 2008. So it's around 7-8 years old. I was
wow.
I was a taller kid, as I thought I would be, and so I rode the original even before the station got redone and things like that a few years ago. I did the original in the old grey and the old rotty and grimy station. It was such a unique time when I look back on it. Alton Towers, it's such a unique place back then and very different to the Alton Towers that we see now.
Do you think that Nemesis is kind of worthy of that title of iconic? Because for thrill seekers, people like yourself that are big fans of roller coasters across the country, it seems to be one of the more iconic ones, far and wide.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the most iconic roller coasters in the world. It's definitely arguably the most iconic in the UK. It's up there with a few others, the Scenic Railway in Margate, the big one at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. There's so many iconic roller coasters. Was his Shockwave closed for the last time as a stand-up coaster yesterday as well, on the last day of the season before it goes through a sit-down conversion for next season at Drayton Manor. So Nemesis is up there as one of the most iconic coasters in the UK. Not just because of its intenseness, but also its heritage and its history and how much of an impact it gave to Alton Towers, because it helped to, build the foundation for the Alton Towers that we see today with all the thrill rides around different areas of the park. Nemesis, along with the Corkscrew, was kind of the sort of iconic rides over the 80s and 90s that kind of built the modern day foundations for Alton Towers.
And with a ride like Nemesis, you mentioned that you've been on it pretty much every year since you first started being able to go on it. Do you not get bored of it? Is that one of the beauties of it, that it's just as fun from the first time to the most recent time?
Yeah, every time you're on the ride, every year that goes by, it flashes back so many memories. And I think the reason why it doesn't get boring is because there's still that force, there's still that intenseness, there's still those memories, there's still this kind of presence that it takes you back to. And you don't lose focus when you're on the ride. You're in the moment always. So, even during the queue line, you sort of walking around, and again, you get those flashbacks of the memories. You get the, I remember when the red waterfall was running down, and they had to shut that off. I remember the red blood waterfall that was created, and obviously it was removed for various reasons, which we completely understand. It created this monstrous presence, and it created this kind of
tension.
Horror feel. It felt very much like being in a live action horror film, and I think that's what many other rides in the UK give as well. I saw the ride at Thorpe Park; it gives you that presence of being in a live action horror film.
And you've been following the rebuild. What's caught your attention with it?
I love the repaint of the track. Obviously, we know in terms of the rebuild, we know they're going to be sort of reprofiling the majority of the track, apart from the lift hill and the brake run. But they've still repainted the brake run and the lift hill. They've brought in new supports. They've brought in the new modern inverted track from Bolliger and Mabiard B&M, the manufacturer of Nemesis. And what's caught my eye is the style and the design of the track. It's sort of gone from this white and this kind of bright light horror to this black with the red veins, sort of like the Nemesis creature being reborn and awakening in a more gruesome form. And for me, this kind of red vein sort of twisting around all the track, with the station being redone, with the entrance portal being redone. I just think all the elements that we saw from the original being reborn in this new light with a new paint, a new design. I'm sure the trains all look very good as well. We've seen the trains already. It looks fantastic already. And it just looks all fresh and new. And it's going to help give generations more of coaster enthusiasts in the 2040s, the 2050s, so forth, the opportunity to experience a new generation of Nemesis. And that's been the most intriguing thing about this thing.
I suppose the question is then, are you going to be there opening day for it? Are you going to be one of the first one on?
Oh, yes. I'm definitely going to be one of the first ones there. We've got a lot of stuff coming up on the channel for the first couple of months. We've got Blackpool, we've got Thorpe, we've got Alton Towers, we've got Chessington, Legoland. So we've got a lot of stuff coming up. And Nemesis opening day is definitely going to be first on the list. Being there, for certain other opening days in the past, it feels like a must. I need to be there for the opening day and to experience the beast for the first time. And the aim is to try and get there as early as possible. Try and be on the first public train.
Yeah, beat the queues. I love it. Just Chall Chats is the channel. People want to check it out.
Yeah, Chall Chats. I'm a theme park journalist, so I try and do these written reports in video format. We've got a video coming out this afternoon from Fantasy Island from the last day of the season yesterday. So it was my first visit to Skegness and my first visit to Fantasy Island. So we reviewed the park, giving out tips of how to scan your wristbands, etc. So we'll be there at Alton Towers for the opening day to do individual attraction reviews. We're going to be covering the Nemesis, obviously. And we're going to be covering the food options, the price options, giving people tips on what to do. Obviously, share the websites for the parks and descriptions as well. So we're all about that theme park journalism and just giving people the education ahead of their visits, and definitely recommending these different parks and events throughout the year.
Amazing, Aaron. Thank you. Do you hibernate when it's off season? How do you keep busy? How do you keep yourself sane?
I mean, over the winter period, I like to sort of keep myself busy by doing things like prediction videos, doing like education videos, bringing out old sort of closed season footage. There's some from Blackpool Pleasure Beach back in 2019 that we're bringing out in a couple of days. So we sort of like to keep ourselves busy, and there's always news updates going on. So we'll always try and deliver at least a new theme park news update every 24 hours. And, lastly, the opportunity to come on here today and speak about Nemesis is just a massive opportunity to close out the season. I started the season on BBC One in January talking about the ultimate Lightwater Valley on breakfast news, and now to end it on BBC Radio just feels like a full circle, starting and ending on BBC. So thank you very much for the opportunity today.
You're the expert, my friend. You're the expert. Great to speak to you as well. Thanks for coming on. That's Aaron Challoner, who runs Chall Chats. Great if you want to sort of learn a little bit more about the ins and outs of roller coasters. I was going to say the ups and downs, but that would feel like a pun that was unnecessary. Chall Chats. We spoke to Alton Towers last week. They said they'll have some exciting announcements about the new version of the ride early next year. So I can already feel people's anticipation building for that one. It's going to be a big one.